So it has literally never been easier to become a millionaire, to not work a 9 to 5, to work on your own, to become financially free, to work, to work remotely from a laptop. This stuff has never been easier in history, and literally every single day it's just becoming easier and easier and easier. Even if you live, not only if you live in the US, even if you live in other parts of the world, if you have access to like a laptop and the internet, you can leverage the US economy and be making US salaries from anywhere in the world. YouTube is a great example. If a YouTube channel is in English, usually most of the audience will be based in the United States. So the owner of that YouTube channel will be getting paid ad revenue that the advertisers are paying to put the commercials on the YouTube videos for audiences in the United States, which are going to have some of the highest rates. So you could be living in India, where it's like dirt cheap to live, or in the Philippines or whatever, and you could be earning that US salary. And the internet and all this stuff has just made this so easy. Like, there are so many ways to start a business now, it is insane. And because of inflation as well. Like, even within like the last 3 or 4 years since the pandemic, the price of stuff has almost doubled. Maybe this isn't a great example because income levels haven't risen yet to meet that. Let's say, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, $1 million now is only like half or less of what it was 20 years ago. So basically, just from 20 years ago, just due to the inflation, becoming a millionaire is like twice as easy as it was then, just because of the inflation. Because $1 million is really only like $500,000, the equivalent of that like 10, 20 years ago or whatever. But on top of that, you have all the internet and just all these ways that you can make money. And when you think about it, like, I don't know, even like 50 years ago or 100 years ago, the only way to become a millionaire, to have your own business, would be to have some sort of like physical thing, like real estate, or like some manufacturing business, or some type of business where you're dealing with physical goods. And most of these businesses are going to require a ton of capital to get started, like a ton of working capital. Or now, like, you can use YouTube as an example again. You can start a YouTube channel basically for free, basically with nothing. Like, you can use a phone as a camera. You can upload videos and edit them on your phone without even having a laptop, I would assume. Like, the price of starting a YouTube channel is almost nothing, especially if you live in the United States. The stuff like this is like so cheap compared to the amount of money you can make in the United States. And there are just so many types of businesses online and ways to make money, from starting out with like almost nothing now. It's crazy. And like I'm saying, every single day, this is becoming easier and easier and easier. Like, if you live in the United States too, you can hire people that live in these other countries and use our dollar and leverage that to just hire people for just so cheap. Even this is a pretty recent thing too. It's a lot of stuff is manufactured in China. Stuff in China is super cheap. And businesses in the US are leveraging that like crazy. Whereas like or probably since before the invention of plastic, I would assume this wasn't really a thing. Like, the economic boom in China is very, very new. And us getting a lot of goods from China is a new thing, within the last, 50, 40 years or something like that, possibly less. It's another thing that's made it a lot easier to get rich now. Like, the things are just endless. The amount of ways that you can make money online, like blog sites, or you look on YouTube and blog sites. These are things that, like, if you don't think about this, you're probably not aware that a lot of these YouTube channels, a lot of these blog sites that you see are like, they're bringing in millions of dollars. Like, they might be bringing in 6 figures a month. So, like, you've probably seen these you see like something like a recipe blog site. We've probably all seen these online, where you just see a recipe and a web page. You might not know, like, this recipe site could be making like 6 figures per month. I'm not exaggerating. There are a ton of sites like this, and you have no idea looking at these sites. Like, you can go on flippa.com, FLIPPA.com. You can see these businesses. There are blog sites on there that are selling for like millions of dollars. And like, so a blog site, for example, that's selling for $1 million, this site is bringing in like 300, on average about 300K per year in profit, basically. And these can be very, very passive as well. And they're also on Flippa, you'll see a lot of like e-commerce sites as well, like these online stores that sell goods. This is another thing. Like back in the day, you would have had to have a retail shop. You would have had to have a physical retail location and be paying rent on that, or buy the property, be paying a lease, be paying like you'd still have to pay property taxes. Now you can just start online, and you can start small. Like you can just start with one product. You can even start with drop shipping, which costs nothing to start. Like you don't have to buy the inventory up front. All this stuff is like this new thing, this new stuff that started that's very, very new. It makes becoming rich super, super easy. It makes it easier to get into, so you can basically start with nothing. You can start all these businesses from nothing. Like Turo, for example. Turo, it's spelled, is a new app, I don't know, within the last 5 or 7 years or something like that. The way it works is like Airbnb. It's just for cars. It's like a rental car thing. Like before Turo, to start your own rental car business, you would have had to pay for like the liability insurance yourself. You would need like a parking lot. You would need so much money up front to be able to start this. And even if you're using like loans, it just makes it so risky. With Turo, you can literally start with one car. They do all the marketing for you. They cover the insurance for you while the car is being rented out. And you can literally start your own rental car business with one car. It can be your car that you're already using anyway as a personal car, which is how a lot of people start this. Like you can literally start a rental car business with no risk, almost no money, super, super easily. Like you don't have to deal with any of the insurance stuff or with any of the marketing stuff or anything like that. Like it is just so easy to do stuff like that now. Like this is how I'm living here now. Is I did Turo for a few years, and I ended up with quite a bit of cash that when I sold all my cars at the end, I ended up with a decent amount of cash at the end of it, and I was pretty successful with it. But there are people on Turo that are making that have like 70 car, 100 car fleets. There are people that are becoming millionaires from Turo, that are becoming very, very wealthy from doing this. There are also a couple people that have YouTube channels on Turo. They are successful from Turo. Now they have YouTube channels and they're selling courses on how to do this on YouTube. You know, these people are making tons of money leveraging the internet and apps and just the online marketplace. And these are just like a few examples I mentioned here. Like you look at YouTube, you might not know, like if a YouTube video has 1 million views, on average, for about 1 million views, it's probably getting at least $3,000 in profit. It could be a lot more per 1 million views. It could be a bit less. I've got a few YouTube channels. I've got 3 that are monetized now, I think. Yeah, 3. My video game one gets like the lowest amount of money per like views. That one, it only gets about like a bit under $2 per 1,000 views. So if that channel had 1 million views, it would get like about $1,900, and that's a very low profit for a YouTube channel. My other one gets like $3.50 or like something like that, or like almost $4 per 1,000 views. So that one per 1 million views, that channel brought in like $3,500 or something like that. So you're seeing one YouTube video, like there are a lot of these channels that'll have like every video they put out is getting over 1 million views. You have to realize, like, they put out one video that gets 3 million views. That video is making at least like $9,000 probably. Or at the very low end, it'll be getting $6,000, but a lot of them can be a lot higher. They can have a lot higher rates that the advertisers pay. They could be getting like $10,000 per 1 million views. Like, you see these channels that are putting out like every video they gets at least 1 million views. Like, the person behind that channel is a millionaire. They are bringing in so much money. Like, if they are posting this stuff consistently, like, they are rich. And there are so many YouTube channels that get millions of views. Like, go on YouTube and just search around. And a lot of these YouTube channels now, like these faceless ones, or a lot of them, they're hiring out all the work, and they're hiring out a team of people. They might be hiring a writer to write the script, a voice actor to do the voice if it's not like a robot voice, and they might be hiring someone to like edit the video, obviously, and then maybe hiring a separate person to find all of like the different footage that they're putting into a video, and they're just running it like that as a business. Like, and you know, maybe they're paying anywhere from like $200 to like $800 per video for these high-end videos, but the videos, they're getting millions of views, they're bringing in thousands of dollars, and they're only paying like a few $100s per video. Like, these are businesses, and there's somebody behind that that is literally a millionaire. There's just so much stuff like this online that you wouldn't even realize until you really look into this stuff. And like, there's really no excuse. Like, if you want to be financially free, if you want to quit your job now, especially if you're living in the United States, there is no excuse. Like, just start looking around on YouTube or searching on Google different ways to make money online, or different ways to make money. There's so many different ways to make money that are like risk-free. Like, you know, don't start a restaurant. I made another video about like the worst type of business to start. Restaurants have like the highest failure rate. They're super risky. Take a bunch of money up front, a bunch of work. You don't have to do stuff like that to start a business now. You don't have to have like a truck axle manufacturing plant. You can start a YouTube channel or just something like that. There's so much stuff that you can start online for basically free, basically with no risk. You just have to have an open mind and just start searching, just start trying stuff. Super easy now to become a millionaire. Maybe not easy, but it's way easier than it ever has been in the past, especially since $1 million isn't really worth shit now to compared to what it was in the past.